Hi, I'm Sharon Gamble.
And I'm Travis DiNicola. Welcome to our celebration of the Nuvo Cultural Vision Awards, now in their 14th year. Nuvo's Cultural Vision Awards were created to celebrate individuals and organizations that are pathfinders, folks bringing new perspectives and innovative ideas to Indianapolis's understanding of itself.
We define cultural vision in its most inclusive sense, looking for people in programs whose creativity enlarges our city's self-image and enhances our quality of life. Join us as we discover the many compelling ways this year's winners have found to make life just a little bit, or maybe a lot, better.
The Arts Council of Indianapolis's mural project has broadened the definition of public art in this city. Titled 46 for 46, it has enlivened urban walls like this one under the West Street Bridge with 46 works of art in celebration of the Super Bowl 46. But while the Super Bowl was the pretext, this project is about a lot more than a super hyped football game. It revitalized Indianapolis's public art program, providing artists with meaningful work. It also promised to make mural art a nationally recognized part of the city's cultural profile. Dave Lawrence of the Arts Council of Indianapolis, with the support from the mayor's office, has championed this public art form to the delight of all.
I'm Dave Lawrence, President and CEO of the Arts Council of Indianapolis. The project is called 46 for 46. We were creating and commissioning 46 new works of art, murals, outside in the public realm that would be painted and completed by the time of Super Bowl 46. So we sent out a call for artists sometime in late 2010, received over 125 submissions from all over the country and all over the world, actually. Folks from California and Florida and Minnesota came here to create and paint murals. There were no thematic restrictions on them. They could paint whatever they wanted to. And each of the murals is up for at least a 10-year time period. Some of the murals have already become such sort of iconic images for the city that I've already had requests from folks saying, please don't paint this one over. It was about an 18-month process. It was a huge undertaking, and folks said at the beginning, you're crazy, it'll never happen. You know, it's hard to get 3 murals done, let alone 46. So I'm constantly amazed that we were able to complete it in that amount of time. We have been amazed at the reaction to the program. We've now been called a mural city by the national press, which I think is fantastic. It's a way to beautify neighborhoods, it's a way to enhance the streetscape, it's a way to celebrate artists, and to get conversations started about public art and what art means to the city of Indianapolis. What we really hoped through this is that it would be the giant kickoff, if you will, for an ongoing murals initiative for the city of Indianapolis. It's important for us to celebrate the arts in Indianapolis, not just through the murals program, but through public art and through all of the arts activity, to retain talent, to attract businesses, to attract families to relocate here, and to beautify the city. The arts are essential to the very fabric of Indianapolis.
Tamara Zahn formed Indianapolis Downtown Inc. in 1993 as a not-for-profit organization focused on developing, managing, and marketing downtown Indianapolis. And what an amazing 2 decades it has been. With Zahn at the helm of IDI, the revitalization of the downtown is revealed for all to see, including some 80 projects totaling $3 billion, featuring 3,000 new downtown homes and 6 cultural districts. A leader in developing the Indianapolis Cultural Trail and the Indianapolis Convention and Visitors Association, Zahn can now add a Cultural Vision Award to her wealth of accolades that includes a Sagamore of the Wabash.
Tamara Zahn, President, Indianapolis Downtown Incorporated. Indianapolis Downtown Inc. was formed in 1993, and at that time, imagine, there were huge craters in half of downtown where Circle Center was stalled. More businesses were moving out of downtown than moving into downtown. People said that the streets rolled up at 5 o'clock, and there were a couple of restaurants to enjoy, but it was a short list. When the decision was made that Circle Center was going to move forward and not die, that was a very important decision in the history and future of downtown Indianapolis. There's just a number of ingredients that contribute to this vibrant downtown. Continuing to invest in the infrastructure with the expansion of the convention center, the Bankers Life Fieldhouse, the Lucas Oil Stadium, creating the sports corporation, which could be the convener and the organizer and the nurturer of volunteers. One of the things we wanted to do is create value so that people had a reason to come downtown and that people felt safe downtown and that it was a destination and it was compelling and it was relevant. So we set about really creating value. One of my favorite parts of what I've been able to do over the last 20 years was to help identify cultural districts and nurture cultural districts, because cultural districts are really what makes Indianapolis unique and authentic, and it really, again, it sets us up apart from other cities. The thing that inspired me for 20 years at IDI is the downtown community and how everybody comes together. We all still have work to do. When we were developing the Cultural Development Commission and the initiatives, one of the things that our research showed us is we as a community need a vocabulary to brag about ourselves. We need a little swagger. People that come here are amazed at Indianapolis and they're like, wow, what a great city. So the more that we as our own citizens can say, we've got a lot to be proud of, the more we're going to continue to be on the national spotlight.
Nate Jackson is not a guy who sits still for long. He became IUPUI executive chef a little over a year ago and immediately began transforming the food culture at the university in multiple ways. First, he got rid of styrofoam in lieu of more eco-friendly packaging. He's getting as much locally sourced food available to the students and faculty as possible, and he's leading the growth of urban farming on campus. Up to 6,000 people eat on campus on any given day, so Jackson's interest in raising the level of awareness regarding good nutrition, sustainability, and locally sourced food is making a huge impact, one day at a time.
My name is Nate Jackson. I'm an executive chef at IUPUI here in Indianapolis. I got here a year and a half ago, and I saw a real lack of leadership when it came to sustainability. And the first two things I looked at were supplying biodegradable products for all of our disposables, and also looking at trying to buy as local as possible. Biodegradable products are significantly more expensive. What I decided to do was try to figure out a creative way in which we could provide a more expensive container without raising the prices of our food. And to do that, we looked at portioning. The amounts of food that we were giving to our customer were much larger than they needed to be. We were able to save enough money that we were able to offset the cost of bringing in a biodegradable product. I feed on average 6,000 people a day. We eliminated styrofoam containers, I would say conservatively 20,000 containers per week. We have a local campus gardens program. Everything that the gardens grows comes straight to my kitchen, which we're then turning into grab-and-go products. So salads, sandwiches, 25 cents of each product goes back into the garden. It ensures that the gardens are going to last. What I also looked at was the idea of stealth health. Being able to create a more healthy environment without necessarily announcing it to our customer. We were purchasing and frying a lot of chicken. Just by eliminating the fat and sodium that's in the fried chicken, the amount of impact that I'm having on my customers' health is huge. And we haven't even seen a reduction in the amount of product that the customer is purchasing. We've actually seen an increase in the amount of product. The reactions have been very positive. I feel that as a whole, the campus is really happy. I want this to be a game changer. I work for a large food service company that manages hundreds of university food services across the country. If I can have an impact in a certain aspect of the industry, it's not only positive, but in the end, it's the most responsible thing to do as well.
The Project School is a unique island on the public school map in Indianapolis, a K-8 mayor-supported charter school It occupies formerly vacant space in the old National Car Factory in the Martindale-Brightwood neighborhood, and it fills an educational void in the near north side. As its name implies, the school is dedicated to educating the whole child with project-based learning. Projects include Project Endure, a not-for-profit creation of the project school's Terry Banks, where 8th through 12th graders are taken on annual adventure treks and they're raising chickens out on the playground. But the biggest project is just now taking shape.
I'm Terry Banks. I'm the founding school leader of the Project School. The Project School is a K-8 teacher-developed, progressive, project-based charter school. We're a school that believes that kids learn by doing, they learn by reflecting on what they've done, they learn by making mistakes. They don't just learn by doing worksheets, and they don't just learn by getting prepped for standardized tests. We believe that learning is a lot more dynamic than that. And it's certainly not the trend right now. We're a snap left turn from education reform in most urban spaces. We're a project-based school, but we've kind of taken the idea of doing projects to another level. We've developed a curricular framework called P3. The 3 Ps are problem, place, and project-based learning. So we want our kids from very young, from very early on, to be engaged in projects that are addressing real issues in the community that they live in. Are you guys watering the raised beds? Yeah. We have about 16 in the playground. We have compost in the playground. We have chickens in the playground. And then the biggest project for us is that we're building a 1.2 acre farm behind the school. We built an outdoor classroom out of 2 reclaimed shipping containers. It's called the Barn. Our kids will be doing urban agriculture with a farmer as part of their P3 science and social studies. We're going to write a farm app for our iPad. We're really kind of writing science curriculum around kids really understanding where food comes from, the socio-political concepts around food, economic impact in a neighborhood around being able to access fresh food. And the food distribution model for that farm is that anything we can put right into the cafeteria and feed our students is first. And over 70% of our families live at or below poverty level. The next wave of distribution is to families, and then the next wave is to community. So it's this ongoing kind of loop of do, reflect, learn, do, reflect, learn. And the whole thing is real because it's real. You know, this is a real working project, a farm. So instead of just going on a field trip to a farm or reading about it in a book, you know, they're going to be doing it. As a parent, and my kid goes here, she's in 1st grade here, I'm really proud of that because that really was the mission. I wanted to build a school that I would be proud to send her to, and I'm there. I'm living that right now.
The workers at Indy's Recycle Force understand the value of discarded objects. Society casts them off too, into the criminal justice system. After squaring up with the law, they all need a second shot, and that's where Recycle Force comes in. The firm has grown from 2 employees in 2006 to employ 16 full-time staff and around 50 ex-offenders cycling through its training programs on a given week. The program is designed to train them for the private sector workforce and help them overcome any number of obstacles that may prevent successful reintegration into society. In the process, the team has recycled more than 11 million pounds of material since its inception, and more than 200 ex-offenders have found permanent, unsubsidized employment. That's recycling that's a win for everyone.
My name is Greg Kiesling, and I'm the president of Recycle Force. Recycle Force is an electronic recycling organization. We're a nonprofit. And so we recycle TVs, computers, Pong machines, 8-track tape players. And we also double as a prison reentry program. These aren't bad people. They're ordinary people that are, getting involved with drug dealing predominantly because of an economic reason. They were having difficulty finding work. There are issues that they bring to the table as well related to lack of education, difficulty with transportation, sometimes poor work ethic. That, why should I work hard for you? But they're not bad people.
My name is Tamika. I sort copper, I sort boards, aluminum, and we recycle them. We recycle. I was selling drugs, and I caught a pretty big case. I did 5 years, and when I came out, I was blessed by Recycle Force. The people here believe in you, and that's an awesome thing. When you burn so many bridges and you've lost so many connections in society, and then you have these people here at Recycle Force that believe that you can make it, that gives you the opportunity to get back on your feet and show, like I said, show society that I can be productive. Right now, I'm a machine operator at a company that distributes hangers to uniform places. So yeah, I got a full-time job. On my days off, I come back up here because I just love this place.
The Department of Correction reports a recidivism rate of 52%. We're at 25. So just right off the top, we've reduced recidivism by half. That's easily $10 million savings to the taxpayer. Easily, just in incarceration costs. And then when you begin to add the taxes that are paid, taking care of their kids, all this, the numbers become quite huge.
3 years ago, I was homeless. I was living under a bridge, couldn't get a job, had to spend most of my time looking for food. It's been 3 years now, and now I have a full-time job, I have my own place, and things are doing much better. Plus, I get to help people do the same thing.
We're doing two things that people in Indianapolis didn't think could happen. Massively increasing recycling and employing people coming out of prison to make that happen. The things we throw away. We throw away our trash, and we've thrown away these individuals.
They recycle people, and that's a beautiful thing.
The Kurt Vonnegut Memorial Library celebrates literature, laughter, and other art created by one of Indianapolis's most influential native sons. This one-of-a-kind destination in Indianapolis honors Vonnegut in a variety of ways, from its expansive library to its national outreach. It's been quite a year for the organization as they weighed in on the national conversation regarding the banning of Slaughterhouse-Five in Missouri. And they're building a board of directors with an impressive lineup, including the nationally known comic Lewis Black. The beloved but underexposed Kurt Vonnegut needed a central location to be properly appreciated, and Julia Whitehead and friends stepped up.
Julia Whitehead, I'm the executive director of the Kurt Vonnegut Memorial Library. I'm often surprised at how many Hoosiers don't know who Kurt Vonnegut is. For someone who made such a great impact, a literary impact on certainly American culture, but also abroad, it dawned on me that there was no place that I was aware of that celebrated his life. I saw there was an online society, but there was not a physical, location where someone could go to, pay their respects or to just simply learn more about his life and work. My first call after I decided I wanted to help start a Vonnegut Memorial was to his son, Mark Vonnegut. I said, I have this idea for a nonprofit organization. It would be a library. And he said, oh, my dad would love a library. There was great support among the Vonnegut fans that I was aware of in the community. As soon as I would tell one person about what I was doing, more people would come. They would spread that news, and next thing I know, we're being offered free space for this facility through Katz & Corn Law Firm. We were not interested in, commercial gain or any of that. We wanted it to be pure Vonnegut, and we tried very hard to do that, and I hope we're succeeding. We hear from our visitors that they feel this is an appropriate memorial to Kurt, and we're constantly thinking about what we can do to improve. Well, we're a little bit of everything here at the Vonnegut Library. We're a museum, we're an art gallery, we have a reading room. Everyone has been so helpful and supportive in partnering with us, and we appreciate it. I think people are realizing what a great treasure he was and is to the city. People come from all over the world. We've had people tell us that they came to Indiana from Russia, Australia, Germany, simply to see the Kurt Vonnegut Memorial Library.
John Mutz's long service to Indiana stretches over 5 decades. His resume is staggering, with leadership roles at the Lumina Foundation, PSI Energy, Lilly Endowment, and Indianapolis Department of Waterworks. He has served as a state representative and state senator with a 2-term stint as lieutenant governor. His community service directorships include the Indiana Economic Development Corporation, the Indiana Stadium and Convention Building Authority, the Indiana and Indianapolis Chambers of Commerce, the Indianapolis Zoological Society, Indianapolis Museum of Art, and the United Way of Central Indiana. John Mutz is honored with a Lifetime Achievement Award for his dedication to improving the lives of all Hoosiers.
I'm John Mutz. I'm former Lieutenant Governor of Indiana. In 1969, we had a idealistic, dynamic mayor named Dick Lugar. What we saw during the early years of Dick Lugar's first term was the start of the renovation of downtown Indianapolis, one that I was involved in, and that was the bricking and renovation of the Circle. The point was that the Circle is a symbol of community, a symbol of wholeness, a symbol of unity. The city committee was a group of young men, all of who were allegedly on their way up. We shared a common idea that Indianapolis could be a really great place to live and work and raise a family. So out of that came plans for the future. Really 4 things. The first was building an economic development strategy around amateur sports. The second one was agriculture, food, and nutrition. The idea was to build other community institutions around that theme. The third was the arts, to renovate and encourage the arts primarily in downtown or around the downtown area. And then the fourth was education. We cared enough about Indianapolis to say we should have a major higher education institution here. And the decision to set aside 1/4 of downtown, which is essentially what we've done, to become the university quarter was a major move. Today, you see over 30,000 students. You see the beginning of a residential campus now, which we did not contemplate then. The White River State Park idea was from the city committee to create a downtown urban park. Well, it ended up that 2 of us on the city committee, Louis Mahern and I, became the authors of the original bill that created the White River State Park. We did envision museums on this property. The zoo, of course, was a major addition to White River State Park. My role in the Lieutenant Governor's office was primarily economic development and job creation. I was involved certainly in the decisions that were made before the Colts came to Indianapolis and the decisions that were made concerning the original construction of the Hoosier Dome, as we originally called it. Our mantra was the public-private partnership, government, business, and the philanthropic community. Nearly all these projects, many of them involving the arts, like the renovation of the Circle Theater, which is now the Hilbert Theater, the Athenaeum. In almost every case, it was set up in such a way that you had to raise a little private money, you had to get government to buy in, not just with a resolution, but with some appropriations. And then, of course, business came to the table. So obviously, I think there's an intertwining of cultural and artistic development along with business development. In the future, what we want to be in Indianapolis and in Indiana is to be a place where people want to be, a magnet for talent. So we have to create the amenities the people want in their lives. I believe the places that will prosper economically are those that offer symphony, theater, artistic opportunities, both as a participant as well as a viewer. There's just no doubt in my mind that that creates an atmosphere that the bright, young, talented people of the future find a desirable place to be.
Inspired? We sure are.
Absolutely. This was an extraordinary group working with a tireless passion to change the fabric of what Indianapolis is and what it can be.
They are truly visionaries, helping us define how we see our better selves. We salute them and you. Thanks so much for joining us.